Snowtown is one of the most depressing things I've ever seen. I remember the first time I watched it with my wife Ethel, and then she never spoke to me again. Australian cinema is probably more notable for its vast collection of high-octane films with exploitation as the label. They didn't have a breakout movement for the extreme similar to the French, but there are quite a few films in the late 2000s that certainly hold a candle to some extreme French films. You have your Wolf Creeks, The Horseman, The Reef, not The Reef, and in 2011 we got Snowtown. Oh boy. We follow a teenager named Jamie who lives in what can only be described as a hellhole with his mother and his brothers. Seriously, the environment Jamie lives in is so trashy and horrendous that it seems like rape and murder have become just a part of everyday life. We were later introduced to John Bunting, played by Daniel Henschel, who you might recognize from The Babadook. He comes off as very charming, dominant, and unpredictable, kinda like Michael Myers in Halloween H2O. When he starts dating Jamie's mother, Bunting starts to become a father figure to the boys, especially to Jamie. Him and the boy bond by discussing how homosexuals should be slaughtered and proceed to vandalize, throw kangaroo guts on their neighbor's porch, and begin to murder people. So yeah, this film gets in some rough places. I take that back, it's rough in all the places. It's a serial killer that might be more raw than Henry, Zodiac, even Halloween H2O, but is it any good? Well, it's certainly not something I would watch for casual fun. I've seen it twice now for this review, and I can't say I enjoy any part of it. However, from a filmmaking standpoint, absolutely. This was Justin Kurzel's first go as a director, who went on to direct Macbeth. He picked a script by Sean Grant that was near and dear to him in relation to the Snowtown location, and translated the account of a horrible true story into something that was far from movie-like. He understands how important tone is to a picture like this. The astonishing performance by Daniel Henschel as John Bunting is one of the main reasons why this film is so good. You can see and believe how he draws everyone's attention and has control over every situation.
You watched when she was 18. But Mr. fucking Bum Puncher, you're mates, mate.
No,
they're all your fucking friends, Barry. We know, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Just strolls into school, right?
Yeah, you're a nasty
No fucking worries. No fucking worries. Oh, there's the keys, mate. Absolutely. Takes your there's your fucking keys. The gents are just down there. All have a fiddle on us.
Have a small
On us. And what did the school do about that?
The school actually did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
I honestly don't see an answer to any of our questions.
And when you go,
I don't see a solution to any of it. I'm fucking sick to death of it. I really am. I've had a gutful. And sitting around here talking about it, it's all great. We're all venting. That's fucking fantastic. But it's happening right fucking now, right while we're sitting here. Some little kid's being touched up.
It takes a toll on your mind seeing them scoff down plates of food while discussing homosexuals and how they should be killed. The performances all around are so genuine that it becomes uncomfortable to watch these people live. Lucas Pittaway, who plays Jamie, does so well at playing a quiet and destroyed teen. There's no life behind his eyes, but there is a subtle and heartbreaking misery and pain he exudes, which makes us feel sorry for him even as an accomplice in the murders. He also reminds me of Halloween H2O, which stars Jamie Lee Curtis. John Bunting is actually not really the center of the film. It follows a dysfunctional family of boys and their single mother. It's a story about a family that is in terrible shape until a certain fellow enters the room, and it all changes for the worst in my opinion. The outgoing and infectious personality that Bunting admits is juxtaposed by Jamie's stone-faced and closed-off personality. On the outside, it would seem that the role of serial killer and victim are switched. But Bunting brought out the inner serial killer in anyone he associated himself with. The escapades of their little group of self-entitled neighborhood watchmen and acts of violence are all told with an almost documented style of storytelling and narrative structure. It's disjointed and straight up nonsensical at times. It kinda just flows along from one disgusting scene of urban deterioration and broken morals to the next. And that's why some elements of the script kinda bother me. Plot points and what has transpired in the first half are a bit blurry, and sometimes had me questioning if there was even a point to be made. This film is hard to watch, no doubt about it. It's one of the most gritty and depressing pictures I've seen. So understandably, it's hard for me to say if it should be recommended. But you know what? I say yes. It may be dark, slow, stressful, and awful in concept, but it is brilliantly well made, and I guarantee it will leave a lasting impression. And that's the key thing a movie should do. Henschel's portrayal of John Bunting is also one of the best performances of a psychopath ever put on film. So yeah, give it a watch if you're not feeling well. Also, I'm sorry Ethel, you can pick the next movie we watch.